The other thing I did was I watched Captain Marvel.
How was it?
Did you check it out?
I did not check it out yet.
Okay. Well,
I've heard everyone say that it's just kind of fine.
yeah,
It's a movie.
it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
It's like it's not bombastic fun like Thor Ragnarok
Or Guardians
Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 and such. It's like okay.
Is it a Thor Dark World?
I thought Thor Dark World was okay.
Is this that?
Uh
Is this okay?
Iron Man 2
Is okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And the issue here is that like unlike those movies where, you know, you're kind of like fleshing out a character that's a part of the Avengers.
Yeah.
In this case, like the significance is really high.
Is a debut pop of the most important person.
Especially with the name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which previously didn't matter that much, and now all the weight is put on it, right? And for anyone who's never read comics that is only following MCU stuff,
Yeah.
like they have to look at that and go, "Oh my God, that must be the most important character in the entire universe," correct?
Right. It's the name.
Yeah, and you would hope that it was a slam dunk with the name like that, and it's not a slam dunk, you
it's
know.
okay.
But it's okay, and it's got some fun parts.
Do you think that it's the kind of thing that because first Captain America and the First Avenger, that was also okay, but
I liked it.
I did, but I also saw it as okay. Like there's some weak shit in that movie.
Yeah, but I'm also a huge fan of like the Rocketeer style aesthetic, you know.
So it's like, but then Cap really came into his own with Winter Soldier, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" You think we could get a situation like this with Miss Larson in the Avengers?
I don't know, because a lot of the reason why it's okay is because the character is played okay, you know? And it sucks because the significance, right, is high. This is an important character. This is Captain Marvel. She's the one who got the fucking page.
Yeah.
She's the one that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
And she's the walking nuke, you know?
Yeah.
The last line of defense. And she's not that charismatic.
No.
And I was hoping that the trailers were sort of just kind of I was hoping that the trailers were just sort of like not representing it fully or
maybe
such.
the trailers were cut bad.
But no, unfortunately, like it's kind of like lacking in charisma in this way. And yeah, so Carol Danvers, who it's hilarious because it's kind of like this is anyone who's
I've heard people talking shit about this character in the comics for
forever,
like a decade.
forever,
like
right?
talking the maddest shit.
Fuck Carol, god damn it.
Yeah.
Wow, what an asshole, what a dick.
Yeah.
The ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Right? And
What a hero.
then eventually kind of like soft rebooted for a new era and a new time.
Yeah.
So that when you're like, let's go look at like this exemplary hero, you know, you can kind of go see like, look. And she got and plus
Oh, she doesn't believe in future crime anymore.
she got the update from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel, making space for Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
You know? So there was
Who
that
really should have been the hero of this movie.
just switch it all around.
Fuck it.
Little Kamala doing it. That would be hilarious.
Because I was talking to somebody and they don't know anything about anything, and I only know a little bit about Captain Marvel. I'm like, the real disappointment here is that there are two female superheroes named Marvel, and this was the wrong one.
Yeah.
Because the other one is way more interesting.
Kamala Khan's way more fun to follow. I agree. And so here's the thing, though. But the soft reboot, Carol Danvers, was fun. She's all right. She's kind of witty and banters.
Yeah.
And she does the thing. She's okay. It's no problem.
She's Ezio.
But in this case, like, she is that. She does have the sarcasm, and she's throwing out the jokes and whatnot. But it's just not really, like, the charisma's just not super there, you know? And, like, the fun scenes with her and Fury are really like, it's like Fury's doing Fury, you know. And so that's the thing is like Thor it came out and had is a great example of like Thor. You already knew Thor was hilarious, interacting with the Avengers and whatnot, and then interacting with Natalie Portman and all this other shit. You get to see him in his own movie, and you're like, well, can't do much if the movie around him is kind of boring.
Yeah.
But Thor and Loki are great.
Yeah, they're great.
Right? Robert
A lot
Downey
of chemistry there.
is just doing Robert Downey,
Dynamite.
right? Doing the thing. And like Cap, Carol Danvers in this movie is what I was afraid Cap was going to be.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're like a little bit milquetoast and then no real way to feel or interact with you. And then it turns out Cap is kind of like, da-da, and everyone's like, ugh. And he's like, okay. You know, the fact that the world kind of reacts to that is like, it makes Cap work. In this case, it's not enough, and it's just in a weird space in between where it's fine, but it's just kind of like, you know. So, and then there's some great action moments, and you know when she turns on the CG meter and she
becomes a laser beam.
She turns on the CG powers and then becomes that, and then you're like, well, there you go. You know, that's what that looks like.
That'll get Thanos.
That's actually the first like actual space Marvel looking moment in a way.
Yeah.
Because Guardians tends to be,
they do stuff in their ship.
They do stuff in their ship and they do stuff on planets.
Yeah.
But there's only moments of like space Marvel happening.
Yeah.
And here you get full on space Marvel.
We need Gladiator to fucking get some space Marvel in here with his dumb mohawk.
I mean, you want dumb mohawks, you got them.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're big burning mohawks in this movie. You know, it's hilarious watching how Space Marvel has to dance around all the stupid shit that exists because, quite frankly, the Kree-Skrull War and everything that's been written about it has been going on for a while. There's a lot of material to pull from. But when you go to that fucking Kree Supreme Commander and you're like, who's that? It's like, oh, that's just the Supreme AI leader of the Kree. Oh, do you mean Supremor? No! Not Supremor! It's just the AI that leads the Kree. Don't worry about it. You're like, your dumb names suck. You know? And it's like, who's that? Is that Marvel? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Are we going to talk about how the name is Marvel? Not really.
No.
Can we throw in a line just to make it work, I guess? We can try.
It's really awkward.
It didn't work. Really? That's a pun. We're going with, okay. You got it. Because
the most important, powerful person in the universe is based off a pun.
You can't get around it, right? It's too important.
It's too important. It's decades and decades old. There's never been a reboot of what the deal is. It's like, that's what it is. Shut up.
I mean, this is a reboot of what the deal is, but the name just goes elsewhere. You know, like the original Marvel was that guy and the Kree and you just can't get around it at this point. You know, it's so fucking, and like, it's the epitome of no shut up though. You know, but it's fine.
I did not know about Supreme War until you just said that.
Supreme War.
It's really bad.
It's from the same school as MODOK, you know,
I guess.
and such. But anyway, so Space Marvel is here, and unlike the Guardians type Space Marvel that was like rewritten and reintroduced and just like hilarious through and through, here it's kind of a little like just in the middle with some good moments.
Okay.
And like the most defining things are all like very like the most defining things she does are very like iconic, right? Like because she's stepping into this role as a really important character, and like she's being the like, hey little girls, this is the superhero that you can like totally be into, right? It's the thing that you're kind of showing, and it's doing what Wonder Woman did effortlessly
on purpose
by playing its hand.
Like, dude,
right?
I think the weirdest thing about Captain Marvel is that, as somebody who has not seen the movie and going purely off of media flooding out at me via osmosis, that Brie Larson's ability to eat her own foot on stage is a much more interesting character trait than anything Captain Marvel actually does in the movie.
I haven't seen any of the surrounding stuff.
She's an expert at jamming her foot into her mouth.
Yikes! I gotta find out what that is.
It's Let's just say she doesn't want to hear my opinion on Captain Marvel, but she'd love to hear yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Awkward.
Okay.
Weird.
Well, it's so here's the thing, right? This would be you'd have to tiptoe through the fucking posies,
Yeah.
to talk about it if Wonder Woman didn't exist.
It totally. But no. But remember, it doesn't. Because it's DC.
Right.
It just doesn't exist.
But the point being, and you know, like, I mean, I know there's a Twitter moment where the Twitter moment name was literally if Captain Marvel wasn't for you, don't spoil it for others, or something like that. And anyway, it was one of those things where you're just like, there's an importance to there being this type of thing, and you gotta have like a cool. You gotta have a really cool Superwoman hero that's doing it, and this script is definitely doing that for Marvel.
Absolutely.
But they're playing their hand way too obviously.
Yeah. So like,
and there's shots of there's shots and lines like her getting back up and stuff that's like, this works in this moment, but it's really, really clear what's going for. And then like there's moments of like like there's lines where she's saying it to a character, but she might as well be looking at the camera,
at you,
right?
Yeah.
And she might as well be like turbo blasting like the establishment,
Yeah.
and like the fact and just the entire the entire fact that like it's taken this long to get like main character
The Avengers is pretty sausagey, man.
Yes, it's
Like,
taking this long to get a main character superhero that's a girl that's just fucking doing it, and that's they're all there. There's no
funniest
questions
thing is
about
like
it.
Wonder Woman did it, and she was like the only one of all of them to crush it in that whole gang.
Exactly, right? So
Total opposite situation.
Sausagey as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? But that's exactly it. It's like Wonder Woman does it and isn't trying super hard to get that point across, and because it's not, it works so well.
Yeah.
And like when you're seeing all those footage of Gal Gadot, I thought it was Godot, but it's not.
I really thought it was Godot.
I thought it was Godot as well. Everyone did. It was Gal Gadot. Of like all little girls just like crying and hugging her and stuff, and she's like, you know, like embracing that whole thing. It's like, fuck yeah.
Cool, yeah. Wonder
Absolutely,
Woman.
because you crushed it, and that was a great
That's
movie.
the human personification of a Greek warrior goddess.
Do it. Do
Yeah.
it the fuck up, you know? You earned that, right? That movie earned that. And in this case, it's really like,
The Marvel's like, we want the crying children.
and we're putting in the moments where we're showing you the little girl.
And we're
You're here.
We're also going to raise money to send children to the thing as a charity thing, which is the weirdest thing ever.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like Disney wants this to be so much like a big thing that they made like a charity to send little girls to see the movie, and it's like, it's a capitalist fucking trick. This is a fucking scam.
But at the same time, I don't want to be like going in onto this so hard that I make it like a major point.
Yeah.
Because it's not a major point. Overall, it's still a movie that you should go check out, and it's still okay.
Well, I gotta check it out.
fun.
It's part
Yeah.
of the story.
Yeah, you got what you want to know what happens and why. And there's other stuff in it that's really fun, including a crazy ass flip the script moment that I had no expectations of whatsoever.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to touch at all.
Yeah.
But there's a huge
Does Sam Jackson actually have 3 eyes?
there's a huge thing that I expected of Space Marvel that is not turning out the way I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the only thing is just like she's not super charismatic compared to a lot of her Avengers compatriots, and the movie plays its hand a little too hard, and I think a little more subtlety in that regard, and a little bit more charisma. I don't know what you want to call it. A little bit of je ne sais quoi.
I gotta say, so I watched all the trailers, right, and I've talked to people about it, and watched the reviews of it. like the single best moment I've seen from Captain Marvel is the Avengers trailer. Have you seen it, the new Avengers trailer?
No, because I specifically avoided it, knowing that this was the post Captain Marvel trailer.
So she has a cool little moment in that
Okay.
trailer. It's the only she
Yeah.
doesn't speak
yeah.
in the trailer, and she has a cool little moment.
I knew. So that's the moment that trailer dropped, and I'm like, this is dropping after Captain Marvel weekend. It has to be the tie-in.
Yes, the one.
So I avoided it. Right. But anyway, yeah. So that's where that's at. But still on the list of
Yeah.
the things worth checking out.
Yeah.
And also
I gotta catch up. I gotta get Ant-Man also.
Yeah.
That one's actually apparently super important. So
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta get my ants,
Mhm.
and I gotta get my Marvels.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're not going to do the head shave, but if they did, it would be awesome. But I'm talking to no one. It's fine.
Where's the Adam Warlock movie? Is that not happening?
Oh, boy.
I feel like that's what they're. I think what they're doing Adam Warlock in Avengers the way they did Vision in Ultron.
There's another problem, actually, that I feel is, you know how we heard about, well, that's another story, but remember in Suicide Squad when you heard it was going back into reshoots to add spice and humor,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
There's a couple shots in Captain Marvel that look like they were reshoots for humor.
Oh no.
And like in particular, it's basically like humor with the bad guys kind of moments
Okay.
that look a bit like,
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, it's, but then like it's not exactly, but there's a couple of moments that feel a little bit like it. But in any case, that's where that's at. And
Well, luckily James Gunn will be directing Suicide Squad 2.
yeah,
So,
but it's not called that.
Oh, it's not.
It's called The Suicide Squad.
Shut the God fucking damn it, DC.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
DC, you fucking motherfuckers.